Good afternoon. Fade to black breaking news for this Wednesday, September 27th, 2023. This is all of the news that you need. I'm Jimmy Church. Help support the show. Get your T-shirts. That's right. We have two ways to get them. They're all autographed and include shipping, and the links are below. Get your T-shirts today and help support everything that we do around here. All right. Let's get straight to it. Oh, I want to remind everybody tonight we have two guests. It's a Wednesday night special double feature. First up tonight, Sarah Breskman Cosme, and second half of the show, Caroline Corey. Great show tonight. So I'll see everybody tonight. Yeah. All right, let's go. On this day in history, 1777. This could also be a fader fact, by the way. During the American Revolution, the Continental Congress, having fled Philadelphia, held a session in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, making the city the capital of the American colonies for a day. On this day in 1777, here's your fader fact. Three Musketeers bars are called three because they originally had three flavors: chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. That's right. They had to choose one during World War II because rations were too expensive, and they just never went back. There's your fader fact. Didn't know that. I thought it was because of the Three Musketeers, right? Not the case. All right. Let's get to the breaking news. Army Private Travis King is back in U.S. custody after North Korean officials released kicked him to the curb. He was the service member who crossed into their country back in July. Senior administration officials confirmed he was back in American hands. King, who is currently headed back to the United States mainland, has a lot of splaining to do. North Korea transferred King to China, where he was picked up by U.S. officials earlier today. I'll keep you posted. A newly developed method based on artificial intelligence is capable of detecting subtle differences in molecular patterns that indicate biological signals. That's right. For finding alien life on other worlds, even in samples of hundreds of millions of years old. Better yet, the mechanism offers results with 90% accuracy. All of this according to new research. Robert Hazen, a scientist at the Carnegie Institution for Science in Washington, D.C., and co-author of the new study, said in a statement, and I quote, "If we could deduce those rules, we can use them to guide our efforts to model life's origins or to detect subtle signs of life on other worlds," end quote. The research was published Monday, September 25th, in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Wow. Sea ice levels around Antarctica just registered a record low, and by a wide margin, as winter comes to a close, according to the National Snow and Ice Data Center, otherwise known as the NSIDC. This year, Antarctica reached its annual maximum coverage on September 10th, about 13 days earlier than average. At that time, the annual ice coverage was at its record low of 6.55 million square miles, a whopping 398,000 square miles lower than the previous record low set back in 1986. Earlier this year, for the first time, scientists detected neutrinos created in a particle collider. Those abundant yet very hard to detect subatomic particles are so removed from the rest of the matter that they slide through it like, specters, earning them the nickname ghost particles. They actually pass through the Earth faster than the speed of light. Think about that. Crazy, right? The researchers said that this work represented the first direct observation of collider neutrinos and would help them understand how these particles form, what their properties are, and their role in the evolution of the universe. The results achieved using the Phaser New detector at the Large Hadron Collider were presented at the 57th Rencontres de Montréal Electroweek Interactions and Unified Theories Conference in Italy back in March of 2023. Paul McCartney has revealed the source of inspiration behind the Beatles song, Lady Madonna. McCartney told National Geographic's editor-in-chief Susan Goldberg that the 1968 hit was partly inspired by a photograph of a Malayo-Polynesian woman surrounded by 3 small children. It was taken by photographer Howard Shashurik and appeared in an article titled American Special Forces in Action in Vietnam in National Geographic's January 1965 issue. I've seen the photograph. I've seen the photograph many times. It's pretty amazing. And now I understand the inspiration. It's pretty cool. The Senate, this is for all you pot smokers. The Senate Banking Committee took a historic step today by advancing marijuana-related legislation to the floor for the first time. The legislation, known as the Secure and Fair Enforcement Regulation Banking Act, would allow legal marijuana businesses to use major financial and banking institutions. The committee reported out the bill by a vote of 14-9. Only one Democrat, Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia, voted against approving the bill for floor consideration. Under current federal law, we all know banks and creditors can face federal prosecution if they provide services to businesses selling pot. The bill and the legislation will now go to the floor for full Senate consideration. Senators are then expected to have the chance to offer amendments. There you go. Selling pot, you can now have a checking account. And finally, I'll leave you with this. In 1988, astronauts aboard the now retired Russian space station Mir realized that something had, appeared and blanketed one of their windows from the outside. The thing had been starting its way. It was growing, and then it got into the space station by slowly destroying the window's titanium quartz surface. It was later revealed that the blanket was, in fact, fungi living in space. And it had got there by hugging on to the astronauts themselves. I'm going to say, allegedly. This fungi had managed to adapt to the space environment, and it adapted so well that it not only survived, but thrived outside on windows, inside on control panels, in the air conditioning system, on cable insulators. It even contaminated the crew's precious food and water supply. That's right, a real alien invasion. Although this incident was the first time a fungus was found significantly damaging the space station, it was not the last. That's right. Space travelers never have been and will never be alone when in space. Think about that. But don't be scared. Not yet. Because scientists are trying to take advantage of it. For instance, one team associated with the European Space Agency recently conducted hypergravity experiments on fungi to better understand how these organisms survive effortlessly in the harsh environment of space. Think about that. Perhaps even we can understand those mechanisms. We can use fungi to build, like off-world settlements on Mars. Yeah, think about that. We've got to catch up. We've got to do it. We've got to catch up to any advanced alien civilization that already knows this stuff. Think about it. Seriously. And there's all the Fade to Black breaking news that you need for this Wednesday, September 27, 2023. Fade to Black breaking news is produced by Renee Newman. I want to remind everybody tonight is a two-part special double feature for Wednesday night. We've got Caroline Corey and first up, Sarah Breskman Cosme. Also today, I'm going to do a test. We're going to broadcast the show live on Twitter. And if that works out and it's easy, I think tomorrow night we're also going to add another network on Instagram. All right. There you go. I'll see everybody tonight. But for now, all I've got to say is go back, Lee Tappy.